this much time on this show today. Okay. I think that is it. Let's briefly talk about, just briefly, this topic is a very sharp. This El-Rufai, EFCC, we read that EFCC have set up a panel of investigation to investigate Nasir El-Rufai. Please, briefly, Mr. Onibio, what do you think? We talked about this earlier, but did you expect this to be this swift? Because when I heard it, I didn't expect, or whatever. Did you expect it to be this swift? And why did you think it's this swift? Will it go far? These are the three questions in one.
Well, what is expected after the documents that came from the State House of Assembly is actually what we have now. It is expected that the FCC will take it off from there, since they have a case against him, and of course bring him to justice. It is not left for him to defend himself. It is not left again for the EFCC to see this through, because we all know how it is when it comes to prosecuting people, especially the elites in Nigeria. If the government want to go after you for whatever reason that it is, and they are determined to do that, they can do it and do it effectively. The outcome is what we may not know. Look at how the EFCC have fumbled the case of Yahya Bello. He was expected to appear in court, I think 2 or 3 days ago. Unfortunately, he didn't show up in court. And I think I told someone that at the end of the day, you may not hear anything about this case anymore. Whatever it is that the court, whatever pronouncement that you're going to get, of course, they would make it. But it is one thing for the court to make pronouncements. It is one thing for justice to be served and to be seen to be served. We were arguing, and I said, for all its worth, if you fall apart with the powers that be, they have all the means to do to get justice from you. But of course, we all know how it all ends. If at the end of the day he's found guilty and he does the plea bargain thing, and then whatever it is that whatever they can recover from him, they recover. I don't know who it is that brought in that ridiculous angle to how justice is served. For somebody who has embezzled money, for somebody who is accused of looting, and if he's found guilty, aside from taking back the money with him, you don't bargain with such a person. It is just more or less like saying that you're bargaining with terrorists. Yeah. Take whatever it is that he has embezzled,
send it to jail,
prosecute him, and put him in jail. That is what is expected. But of course, justice is not served the way we think it. And but of course, we all know how it should be. But if it is not, well, it is what it is. Like the governor of Imo State said when he was reading his speech, and PHCN decided to take the power, and he said we are all in Nigeria. So I would end my statement by saying we are all in Nigeria. So whatever it is that we see, we take.
Anyway, thank you so much. This plea bargain, honestly, we talked about it extensively in our previous show. This plea bargain of a thing is unknowing. I can't believe that you will have a criminal coming to bring in a criminal to a peacemaking table. I never see this kind of thing. You negotiate with the criminal. So, okay, bring this one, or if you don't bring this over, and then when the criminal just releases part of what he stole. I never see this kind. What? I don't know, Barrister, you as a lawyer, I don't know, based on you read a lot. Is there any country that practices this plea bargain of a thing? Because it's not practiced in the US. You are caught in corruption, you go to jail.
No, plea bargain originated from the US. It's still practiced till tomorrow.
No, it's not.
No, it is. Go back and cross-check. They do plea bargain, even agree on the sentence that will be awarded, and they go to the judge, and the judge.
Yeah, but now we copied it. That's the problem. Nigeria copied wrong things that is not. Now we copied the US that we copied it from. Honestly, I've not heard about such news that we have had cases where corrupt people were prosecuted and are being prosecuted even as I'm speaking with you right now. All of them are passing through prosecution.
There's serious. In fact, we learned the plea bargain from the US, no other place. There is serious plea bargain in the US. They bargain to the extent that you accept lesser charges. The
No,
prosecutor,
no.
I'm
Yeah.
coming. You accept lesser charges, and the prosecutor tells you, okay, we are going to ask for 2 years, we are going to ask for 6 months imprisonment, or this, all this is agreed. They now present that plea bargain to the judge, and the judge simply implements
yes.
it.
No, that's on. There's no doubt about that. The plea bargain I'm talking about, no, I understand that. Yes, you are right, that is going on. But the plea bargain I'm talking about has to do with people who stole public funds. For God's sake, the plea bargain, the one we were talking about, the plea bargain has to do with crime, other criminal stuff. Probably somebody committed a crime, and because sometimes, hold on, sometimes what they do is, why they do that, there is a purpose why they do that. One, it's not, unlike Nigeria, it is very, very extremely expensive to prosecute a case. Like Nigeria is expensive, but not 1/4 of the cost in the US. US, it is very extremely, when I say, I'm stressing that, extremely expensive to prosecute a case, to prosecute and defend a case. That's why people, if you are not buoyant in this country, you are in court, you are in trouble. You can't even do that. That's just it. So that is why people go for this plea bargain. Why? Because it's expensive. Because you don't waste the judge's time, the lawyer's time. So it will save the government money, save the government time, save the other lawyer, both sides, time. So that's why they organize that. Okay, for us not to whatever, this thing, you are guilty of this. These are evidences against you. You either do it this way, or if you allow us to go through the process, spend all the money and the time, and at the end of the day, you are found guilty, you will go for the maximum sentence. That is the purpose of plea bargain. That is the original purpose of plea bargain. But Nigeria, that is not that's not the plea bargain we are practicing in Nigeria, for God's sake. The plea bargain we are practicing in Nigeria is just in the favor of one. It's one-sided.
The plea bargain itself, there's nothing wrong with plea bargain as a legal procedural issue. It's abuse that is wrong.
Abuse, correct.
You come here, if you look at the cases on which plea bargain is, no top politician or all these big governors are doing plea bargain. The plea bargain we are doing in Nigeria is and this young boy is doing Yahoo.
Yeah, that's the point.
This is the level most of them are doing the plea bargain. And sometimes there is reason for it. It is very difficult to prosecute some crimes. Because of that, just the difficulty and the time frame that the case will go from Federal High Court, for instance, to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. We are talking of 10 to 15 years before that process will exhaust itself. If you find a young boy of 18 years who has done some Yahoo, got 5 million, you see about 5 or 10 million in his account. And you see the some of the stuff, cars, iPhones that he bought with the funds, and you confiscate it under a plea bargain. He surrenders those items, and then he restitute. There's restitution. In other words, you pay back the money you have earned through that criminal process. Then the plea bargain goes for a reduced sentence and penalty, financial penalty. So it is not by itself wrong. It helps to fast track the prosecution of cases which are in their
thousands. Yeah, that's what I just said. It's the purpose of purpose, yes.
The time, even the expenses, even though it's not as much here, but it's still expensive. So plea bargain by itself is not wrong. But as far as Nigeria is concerned, anything that is good, when you bring it here, corruption and Nigeria happens,
they will abuse it.
And then you're subject to abuse, and the abuse takes the headlines from the genuine purpose of that issue. You have you heard of a governor charged to court doing plea bargain? I've not heard of anyone.
No.
They are not doing plea bargain. They are fighting because they have so much money. They are paying lawyers 1 billion to defend them.
Wow.
And when you pay lawyers that kind of money, they will drag the case for years and years and years and years waiting for a technical loophole for this thing to cash in. So they are comfortable in using the money they have stolen to
fight the system,
manipulate the legal process.
All
Some
right.
of the people, if you look at a person like the Senate president, is facing criminal charges of amounting to almost 300 billion from the EFCC, the Senate president. But he has not stopped his political career up to being elected as senator, up to being elected as Senate president. So that is the situation that Nigeria finds itself.
It's so sad, honestly, so sad. Anyway, thank you. That brings us to the end of this show. Very, very long. This is the longest we've ever had. Never ever spent this much time, not even close. Thank you very much for your time, Barrister Austin Manta and Mr. Segun Onibio. I appreciate this time. Sorry for stretching it to this time. A sort of, I'm very, very sorry for the inconvenience. So viewers, this brings us to the end of the show. This is JIBRIN Angle. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. And now that brings us, that makes us call it a day. Goodbye, everyone.